hablar, que tienen miedo de decir que están sufriendo, tienen que hablar, párense. We all have to stand up and speak loud and let our voices be heard. This is not any other time in history. We are the people that will change the world. We are the people that are gonna fucking change the status quo. We are the people that are gonna save the planet. And we're gonna do it by marching. We're gonna do it by yelling loud. We will not be ignored. No vamos a ser ignorados. We will not be silent. No vamos a quedarnos en silencio. We will speak up. We will yell at the top of our lungs. Gritaremos lo más alto posible. Y vamos a ser escuchados. We will be heard. Thank you.
Really loud.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone that was out here today and had the opportunity to march, because all of you are revolutionaries by coming here today. But I want to talk about a vision for a future that I see. A future which liberates us all. I see a utopia, a vision which philosophers have written and long dreamed about. Utopia is free from artificial greed and heightened materialism, which continues to force-feed us propaganda, poisoning the streets with gentrification and violence. I see a utopia which frees those who have been bounded to 300 years of slavery, genocide, Jim Crow, displacement, and mass incarceration. I see a utopia which the sick are healed and the poor are educated, and where the proletariat are given full benefit of democracy in the workplace, rather than suffer from insufficient wages due to a surplus to the board of directors. I see the wealth gap shrinking as wealth isn't passed down from generation to generation, elitist people, but rather passed down to people where they can get their bread, books, and beds. I see a utopia which breaks down borders and releases those under Western colonial chokeholds of imperialism and colonization and suffering, where cultures can freely express religious or ethnic practices free from harm or violence, or white supremacy. I see a utopia which leaders see the benefits of collectivization for the people, combining ethics with economics. I see a utopia where humans' rights are preserved and not only protected, but by any means necessary, upheld all the time. We as a community need to work together to bring justice. Justice only comes when people see the wounds of capitalism and awaken from the complacency of oppression. Revolution comes from fierce spirit and sacrifice. Resistance does not seek to work and build within the system, but to dismantle the system as a whole. Today I ask you to constantly refuse this system, a system which continues to protect Donald Trump and other neoliberalist leaders all over the world who have continued to oppress us, millions of us, billions of us. The struggle for liberation is universal, and the only way we can achieve something free from oppression is if we fight back. One of my favorite activists, Angela Davis, once said, "I'm no longer accepting things I cannot change. I'm changing things that I cannot accept." I suggest we all listen to this quote very carefully and always actively refuse. Thank you.
Okay, I want to say one other thing about Samira before she goes, which is that she just graduated from San Ramon High School. And at San Ramon High School, there was this disgusting incident where, you know, the kind of thing that is happening all too often now in Trump's America, where this white, I guess, I'm not sure if he was white or not, but he actually did a campaign for student government where he made a video depicting Muslims in a racist and Islamophobic way, and he actually won the president of the student government. And she and a whole bunch of students stood up and said, no, we're not going to allow this to happen. This is horrible. This is part of what is happening all across the country, a rise of hate crimes, a rise of bigotry, a rise of Islamophobia fanned and fueled by the Trump regime. So we got to stand up like those high school students did. All right. Rebecca wants to say some things. Here you go, Rebecca. Oh, here, maybe come behind the banner.
Alright, thank you so much. My name is Rebecca. I wanted to actually share a little bit with you guys.
Did you guys get one of these about our next meeting too, if you guys can make it?
My name is Rebecca. I wanted to share a little bit with you guys about why I am here today and about why I will continue to come to Refuse Fascism marches and any other march I can come. Is because...
Start from the beginning because people can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Yes?
Louder, louder!
Okie doke, cool. So 2 weeks ago, I was not in the country because I spent 9 months. So before the election happened, up until 2 weeks ago, I was in a poor, small, Muslim, post-Soviet country. Everything that the current regime stands against. I was an English teacher. I would have students come up to me almost every day to ask me about America. How can I get to America? And the first question you always ask a student is, why are you learning English? And almost all of them would say, because I want to go to America. I want to go to school there. I want to work there. I want to give my family a better life if I can get over there. And the hardest thing was because they were pro-Putin, pro-Russian, they were also pro-Trump. And the hardest thing was to have people ask me how Trump could get elected, how I could vote for Hillary, and like, why is Hillary so bad? Because I had to look them in the eye and say, well, are you a Muslim? All of them would say yes, it's a Muslim country. All of them would say yes, and then I would have to tell them that not because they did anything wrong, not because they didn't study hard enough, not because they didn't try hard enough, not because they didn't learn the right language, but just because of the religion that was their country. My regime, my country does not want them there. And there is nothing like seeing a broken heart when a person who has worked their entire life to make a better life for themselves and for their family, because they want to come here, there is nothing harder than having to see their face drop the second they realize that they could not change anyone's opinion of them, that they could not change our governing body's opinion of them. And that is not how leaders of the free world should be acting. Leaders of the free world should not be making everyone else feel like it's a party that they had to have already been born into. Leaders of the free world should be making the rest of the world just as free as we ought to be. And so that is why I'm here today, because it is time. I should not have to tell you, I don't have to tell you that it is time for that responsibility change. It is time to take the leading of the free world and take it away from the man who thinks that he's, I don't even know, and put it in the hands of the people who do know. Because we know what America should look like, because we are the people on the ground. We are the people who live this life every day, and we are the people who have to go out and now prove to everyone else that we're not as bad as they make us seem. And that is not a burden we should have to carry. That is not a burden anyone should have to carry, and wondering whether or not they'll be able to find a better life for themselves after they get here, before they get here in America, is not something that anyone else should have to do. If we are the free world, then we should be the free world. And we will only continue to be the free world as long as we continue to organize in places like this. And that is exactly why I came today, and that's exactly why I will continue to do this. And I hope that you guys will not get tired, will not grow weary, but that God, whatever you believe in, even if you don't, that whatever way you find strength, you will find strength and you will continue to organize. Thank you very much.
Can somebody help her pick these up? Thanks. You know, nobody thanked the organizers today, and I want to put a big hand together for all the organizers that made this a safe march, a happy march, for all our voices to be heard. Put it together, that was better. Come on now, we got more people here that can make a holler. You can put your hands together. And if you see any of them around the truck, go up and personally thank them. I want to thank you all again for joining us, and anytime you hear the call out, join us again. I'm going to hand it over to my brother.
Thank you so much. So I just want to take a quick minute. to say a few words for our incarcerated brothers and sisters at the moment. There's millions of them. It's millions of people living every day in the constant oppression of fascism and capitalism in our incarcerated state. And Jeff Sessions is talking about ramping up again the war on drugs. That means more people in prison, being subjected to solitary confinement for way too lengths of time, a constant just oppression, and there's not enough I can say, except that I just hopefully those brothers and sisters that are incarcerated know that they're not alone, and we're standing out here for them as well. And I just don't ever want to lose sight of my brothers and sisters that don't have the opportunity to come out here and say fuck Donald Trump and fuck Mike Pence. Fuck the incarceration state and the complete removal of all prisons. And until then, none of us are free. An injury to one is an injury to all. Thank you so much for coming out and giving me the chance to say that. Appreciate it. Much love.
Hey, good people, refuse fascism. The whole all the comrades that are with the No movement, the women's movement, the Veterans for Peace, Veterans Against GOP. I'm a United States Navy veteran. I'm a transgender man of color. I'm a radically inclusive motivational music minister. So I mean, intersectionality basically is what we're all about, and it's all about all of us coming together, banding together here in the city, whether you're in the East Bay or wherever you're at on the BART stop, right? We all have to come together and we all have to speak up. And from the youth to the elders and our seniors and just everyone in between. It's about coming together. So thank you for being here. Thank you for grabbing a piece of paper. Thank you for signing up, getting on that email list, revcom.us. Checking us out on the websites, linking up with us on the social media channels. I'm Terrence Kaytan. I'm an organizer for all those intersections of our community. So get at me.
Yes.
Might be able to hear me who are not part of this march. It's really critical that we recognize that we are in a time in history that is unprecedented, and that if we are lax, if we are complicit, we should not be surprised if our democracy dies. That's just the way it's going to be if people like you and me, ordinary citizens, people who think, who am I? What do I have to say? Who am I? I don't have anything to say. If those kind of people sit back and continue to let this heinousy, this vile, toxic administration have its way, we should not be surprised that this country and our democracy and our values for whatever they've stood for, and we know this country has not been perfect, but my God, we are going to see worse to come. And we can see it in Russia, we can see it in these other countries that have been taken over by totalitarian dictators. Today, we are not the only people who march. There are very brave people, way braver than we are, marching in the streets of Turkey today. 1 year ago, that coup happened, and those people are suffering greatly. And we still have the comfort of freedom of speech, freedom to assemble, freedom to march, freedom to even curse our leaders. We should not take that lightly. If you can hear my voice and you are on the sidelines, this is no time to be on the sidelines. You must represent. A republic is built on the people, and we are the people. Thank you.
I'm a very shy person. I was on my way to have dinner with my friends when I saw you guys marching, and I almost went to tears. I'm Venezuelan. My family, my people march every day because they have no more food, they have no more medical care. Babies die because they have jaundice, something that just cured my light. And I know there's a lot of beautiful light here, and I thank all of you for doing what you did today. We'll see you in the meeting on Thursday. At 6:30 to 8:30 in Mission Cultural Center, Latino Arts Lobby. Thank you very much.
Our culture and our diversity is what makes us rich.
Heck yeah. So excuse my slow talk because I just came from the dentist, but one reason why I'm here is because I care about the planet, and this administration has been attacking our national monuments, our national parks, which are so important. Our public spaces are what we really cherish in this country, and I believe that we all have to come together and stick up for our earth and dude, fuck Trump.
Reason, but I came here because I'm a transgender, homosexual Mexican American, and I have sat in the car when my father was pulled over for being brown and driving in the state of Arizona because this country allows racial profiling to be valid and to be an excuse to kill and persecute those of color ever since the beginning of time, with a great increase since the Reagan administration. Fuck that puto too.
Right on.
And Harvey Milk and Martin Luther King and Che Guevara and all the fucking great activists of the world did not die, become martyrs to watch this shit happen. So fuck that puto.
Our ancestors. Let's speak.
This isn't just me. This is handed down from generation to generation. So I'm just getting woke to what's real in my life, and I appreciate everybody coming up and speaking out and sharing their authentic truths. Our culture and our history and our diversity is what makes us rich as Americans. Not Trump, not this business liar. It's our culture, it's our history, it's us living our authentic lives. It's the community conversations, and he's trying to drive a wedge in between us and make us afraid of one another and isolation and so I appreciate everybody who's standing here in unity and for us to pull together our networks and our organizations and tap into the organizer that is inside of all of us. Yeah, appreciate it. Who's up next?
I'm next. We are a community. We are familia. We don't look down at nobody and we don't judge nobody. We are who we are. And you can't judge the next person because you know what? You're worse than the next person. So we're all great. We're all great people. We're all great people. We're a great community and life is grand. Can be. Right? Every day you wake up and you could walk up to the store or walk up to the park. What a beautiful feeling. When you don't have that, you lose out on that. So, day by day, God bless us.